the Marcedes Lewis Foundation that you started.
Yeah, the Marcedes Lewis Foundation was actually something that my mom brought to my attention 5 years ago and was like, hey, like, it's about that time, we need to start thinking about giving back. It was like my third year in the league at the time, and it was actually perfect timing because, you know, for those first 3 years, I kind of wanted to just play football, get my feet in the ground, and really understand how that business worked. You know, ever since I was younger, like, I've always wanted to give back. I do a camp, an annual camp every year. I mean, it started from like 300 kids to 400 to 500 kids.
Wow.
And I do it for free. It's been awesome. I mean, fire department, police department come out, ROTC from my high school comes out, talks to the kids about just different obstacles around and what to look for and what not to get into. We have sports psychologists that come out and talk to the parents about how to deal with kids when they're growing up and getting to those adolescent years and they want to play football and sports and balancing school and sports. So it's almost like a human relations camp too,
Right.
because the parents can go to the different bungalows around the campus while the kids are getting instruction on how to just be able to carry on as your kid is growing up.
Raising London and being a professional football player, your time away from her, how are you dealing with that as far as connecting with her, or how do you find your time to be able to, you know, spend time and connect with her?
It's really tough because I'm in a special situation. You know, me and her mother, you know, for one reason or another, it's not as easy as it should be. And due to those external factors, you know, for a while, I'm stuck fighting in court just to see my daughter. This is now 3 years and still going to court just so I can have time to see my daughter. Fortunately, the judge is a great judge of character and has allowed me with time to see my daughter. And so now, you know, I have her almost every other week.
Oh, that's good.
And she's 3 years old now, so she's growing at a rapid rate. And it's just important that I try to spend as much time as I can with her.
What would you say if you had to give, let's give advice to the 19 or 20-year-old who's, you know, his wife or girlfriend's pregnant, a baby's gonna come, he's a young kid. What would be your advice to him?
The first thing I'd probably say is have patience. Understand that, you know, your life, what you thought it was before the baby, is not gonna be the same. You're gonna have to take more of a nurturing role. And so everything, you're almost gonna have to be like the pseudo mom, you know, and you know, pick it up real fast because it's gonna happen at a rapid rate, so just be ready for that.
Right. So as we know, there's a lot of dads out there that are separated, divorced, never even married, but they've got kids, and they're going through custody battles. And what advice can you give them? What hope can you give them? What challenges can you give them to hang in there during this process and where they can get to?
First and foremost, I would say just believe in yourself. Understand that everything happens for a reason. And you know, control what only you can control. What you can't control, you can't stress over that. There were times where I wanted to quit, you know, and there were times where I questioned myself, and you just can't, because it's all about your child, your son, your daughter. That's the most important thing. And I know when my daughter grows up, she's gonna be so happy to know I didn't quit on her. She's gonna know how hard I fought, and she's gonna know why. And that's the only thing that drives me and keeps me going, regardless of how much money I spent in lawyer fees, what child support is, all the anxiety that I get inside of that courtroom, because I know people know who I am and watching me walk in and out of that courtroom. It's all for her. And at the end of the day, nothing else matters. One of my coaches told me when I was younger, he said, you're gonna deal with adversity and you're gonna deal with prosperity, but you have to deal with it all the same. You can't be like a roller coaster. If something good happens, don't ever get too high. And if something bad happens, don't ever get too low. Because that's when you're gonna fall and get complacent either way. So always stay even keeled.
My life as a dad.
Sponsored by Daddy & Company, the perfect gifts for dad. Check out more episodes of My Life as a Dad by clicking here.